And then from here in your down your child's pose, so not down dog yet, bring your hips behind you, sit the hips into the heels, and extend your arms nice and long in front of you. So again, just creating length in the spine, easing those shoulders away from the ears, and just allowing yourselves to bring your attention to your mat, to the space here, just detaching from any outside distractions. We're going to take a couple of gentle breaths here, as always, to just settle into our space. So breathe in through your nose, and then take a nice big open mouth exhale. Feel free to, as always, massage your forehead from side to side. Just gentle massage. Spread the fingertips out wide. Once again, deep breath in, and send the breath out through the mouth. Good. And now just start to seal your lips as you breathe slowly in through the nose. Keep the lips sealed as you breathe out through the nose. So we call this breath our Ujjayi breath, our yoga breath. Just finding breath in through the nose and an even breath out through the nose. Creating heat in the body with this breath. Take a moment to just very gently stretch further forward. As you do so, feel those shoulders spread out behind you. Feel the length in your spine as you sit those heels and hips together. And we're going to just spread the fingertips out wide as we take one more breath here. And then on the exhale, slowly start to lift your gaze towards the top of your mat. Take your time to shift the weight into your hands, no rush at all. And then start to slowly slide those hands underneath your shoulders. You're going to go ahead and draw the knees underneath the hips. And we're just going to shift forwards and back. A few times here, forwards and back. And then maybe even drawing some big circles in the air with the body. We do this always to start our practice, just to warm up that spine. And then again, rotate the direction of your circle. Finding nice big movements here. Awaken these parts of the body. Don't get much love or attention throughout the day. And then come back to center. Good. From here, we're just going to take 3 rounds of cat and cow. So when you're ready, go ahead and tuck the toes under for a little added support. Go ahead and make sure those hands are under the shoulders. Drop the belly down, soften the elbows, look forward or up as you soften at the elbows for cow pose. Good. As you exhale, round out through the spine, bring your chin to your chest, press the earth away, cat pose. 2 more times. Take a deep breath in as you move into your cow pose. Exhale, round out through that spine, chin to chest. Last one here. Inhale, open the chest. Lift your gaze, shoulders back. Exhale, round out through that spine, chin to chest. Press the earth away. Good. Inhale, slowly come back to neutral spine. We're going to take a moment to just slowly take those hands, make sure they're spread out wide underneath your shoulders. Take your right foot behind you, press into the ball mound of your right foot. And we're just going to push that right heel back a few times. And as you push that right heel back a few times, we're just stretching that right hamstring. Good. Release the knee back down to the ground. Switch sides. Take your left foot behind you. Push into the ball mound of your foot. And just push that heel back. Imagine you're pushing your heel into a wall behind you. Shifting forwards and back a few times. It's a nice stretch through your calf muscle. Opening up, warming up. And then come back to center. We're going to take a moment to just bring those fingertips so that they're facing the body. And then we're going to stretch out by shifting back and forwards. Stretching the forearms here as we prepare for our first plank pose. So bring those fingers to the center. Give yourselves a little side stretch. And then bring the fingertips to face forwards, the top of the mat. Good. Start again with that right leg. Extend the right leg back. Push into the ball mound of the right foot. And then step that left foot back. High plank pose. In your first plank pose of the practice, take a full breath here. Hold the plank for just 3. We release to the knees in 2. In 1, drop your knees down. Slowly, with control, lower your chest all the way down to your belly. No rush at all. Good. Extend the legs back behind you so that they're straight. Your hands should be right underneath your shoulders. And we're just going to take a baby cobra as we breathe in, shoulders back, chest forward. Find softness in your hands. Squeeze those elbows into the body. Exhale, come back down. Let's do that again. But this time, come up a little bit higher. Push into the hands this time. Inhale. Push into your hands. Lift your gaze. Just a subtle, gentle back bend. Look forward. Deep breath here. Make sure those elbows are soft and squeezed into the body. Exhale and release. Good job. From here, I'd like for you to push into the hands, roll onto your knees, tuck your toes under. Our first down dog as you exhale, hips high up to the sky. So pedal out those feet here a few times. As you pedal out your feet, you're just getting comfortable in this first down dog of the evening. Let your head and neck relax. Let your hands be your grounding, your foundation here. Feel softness in those elbows and knees. And then let your chest work towards the thighs as you relax your head. Your heels may be lifted, and that's fine. Just feel the stretch through your spine. Pressing those hips up as the crown of the head reaches down. Take a full breath here. Inhale and exhale. Let's take the right leg up towards the sky for just a moment. It doesn't have to go high, just a little bit of a lift. Maybe bend the knee if you'd like. And then on the exhale, I'd like for you to draw the knee into your chest as you shift forward, activating the core. Good, good, good. Inhale, re-extend. Kick it up nice and high. Maybe this time it goes a little bit higher with the momentum. And then once again, bring it in, and then bring that right foot outside your right hand. Drop the back knee down. Go ahead and bring your hands, right hand onto that right knee. And just push that right knee open. So your first little hip stretch here. As you push that right knee open, you might want to walk that right heel forward a bit more to create more opening, more space in your hip. Peel that right shoulder down. Press that left hand into the mat. Now you can stay here, or you can bend that left knee in towards. So you bend that left knee so your left foot comes in towards the body. Stay where you are for just 3. Look over that right shoulder a little more for 2. Good, and 1, let's release that left foot down. Keep your right foot where it is, but just bring your right hand to the mat. And we're going to take it into a deeper stretch. Maybe you want to drop your forearms to the mat one at a time. Maybe that's not available for you, so stay on the hands. Let's add a little bit of heat by tucking the left toes under and lifting the left kneecap off the mat for an activated lunge. We're here for just 3. Keep lifting that left knee, pushing firmly into your hands like you're pushing the earth away for 2. Listen carefully in 1, you're going to look forward. You're going to use the strength in your core to sweep that right leg back for a plank pose. Nice transition, good. Make sure your hands are under your shoulders. Realign if you need to. Look forward, take a deep breath here. Let's drop the knees down. Let's once again lower to the belly with control. Slow, keep those elbows in. Good. Once you're down on the belly, baby cobra. On the inhale, shoulders back, chest forward. On the exhale, come back down. Roll over the knees, roll over the toes, back into your downward facing dog. And to reset, we're going to take that same lovely little stretch on the left side. So take a moment to reset, find that down dog. Take your left leg up. Again, we're not focused on how high it goes to start with. And then we're just activating the core by pulling that thigh into the chest, engaging the core. Inhale, re-extend. Maybe you notice the leg goes a little bit higher. Maybe you bend that left knee. As you exhale, hug the knee in, pull the belly in, lightly step that left foot outside your left hand. And drop your back knee down. Good. I'll face you so you can see. So your left foot is forward. Your right hand is still underneath that right shoulder. Bring that left hand up onto the left knee and just peel your left shoulder back. Open up that shoulder space. Now you can stay here, or you might want to bring that right foot towards your glute so you'll feel this stretch in your right quad. And as you do this, try to look over at your left toes, looking over that left shoulder. Good. We're here for 3. Keep pulling that left shoulder away from the ear for 2. Good. In 1, release the foot back down. Bring your left hand to the mat and take a deeper stretch. So you have the option to maybe try to lower one forearm to the mat. Maybe both forearms come down. Maybe that's not available, so stay on the hands. And then focus on the activated back leg. Start to lift that right kneecap off your mat. Imagine you're pushing the ground away from you with your hands. Your shoulders are pulled down away from the ears. Find a length in the back of your neck for just 3. Keep that breath active, in through the nose, out through the nose for 2. Good. In 1, take your time. Use the strength in your core. Sweep that left leg back to meet the right. High plank pose. Nice transition. Reset for that plank pose. Look forward. Take a deep breath. We're going to prepare for chaturanga. Drop the knees down. Untuck the toes. Halfway lower. Keep those elbows in. On the in-breath, you're coming up to your upward facing dog. Pausing here. Maybe your thighs lift as you press your chest forward. As you exhale, roll over the toes, back into downward facing dog. Let's take a big breath together here. Inhale and exhale. Good. Start to slowly walk the feet towards the top of your mat. Take your time as you walk the toes to the top of the mat. And let's just catch opposite elbows as we hang heavy here in ragdoll pose. Swaying the hips from side, or rather the body from side to side. Maybe your hips are moving too, but keep those feet grounded. Nod the head yes, and nod the head no. Letting go completely. Let's go ahead and release the hands back down. On the inhale breath, bring your hands to your hips, soften the knees, look forward, and with a flat back, rise all the way up to a stand, slow and no rush. And once you've made your way to your standing position, look down at your big toes, bring those feet together, leave a little space between the heels, and then draw your shoulders back. Reach your arms up towards the sky. Go ahead and grab opposite elbows, and then imagine you're leaning back, like you're reclining into a chair, with your lifting the gaze up, shoulders down, elbows wide, hands clasping opposite elbows. Push those hips forward as you lean just a tad further, trusting the body here. Deep breath in, and exhale, rise back up. We're going to take a side stretch. Keep the hands as they are, but just hinge at the right hip as you hinge over to the right. Draw that left shoulder back, look up towards that left elbow that's pointing up towards the sky. Press both feet down, keep those hips squared. Inhale, rise back up to center. Switch sides, take a deep breath to lengthen. And then exhale over to the left, so you notice that hinge at the left hip, peel that right elbow back, look up towards that right elbow. Nice side body stretch. Bring yourselves back up to center, and as you exhale, release those arms down. Good, give yourselves a little bit of a stretch here. You're going to take 2 sun salutations to just get the body warmed up, if it's not already warmed. Arms up to the sky as you breathe in, bring your palms to touch at the top. On the exhale, exhale, melt your hands through your heart center, hinge forward. So finding that breath to movement. Halfway lift as you inhale, shoulders back. On the exhale, plant the palms. Take your time to step into that plank pose you've been in already this evening. Try to keep your knees lifted as you exhale, chaturanga. So you lower halfway. If you need those knees down, take the knees down. On the inhale breath, you come up, pausing in your up dog variation. And then on the exhale, you roll over those toes back into your downward facing dog. Take a breath to reset. Inhale. And exhale. And let's slowly look forward. Bend those knees. Take a deep breath in. And either step or hop to the top of your mat. Use that momentum. Inhale, halfway lift, shoulders back. Exhale, let's take a deep forward fold. Reaching those hands behind the ankles or the calves. When you're ready, rise up, reach up with your hands, bringing those palms to meet at the top. As you exhale, second sun salutation, hands melt through the heart center, fold forward with control. Release the hands to the mat, halfway lift, shoulders back, pause in your flat tabletop. As you exhale, plant those palms, step back again with control, find your plank pose. Realign. Take your time to look forward. Chaturanga when you're ready, elbows squeeze the side body. Upward facing dog on the breath in or your cobra, wherever feels good for you. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Good, again, breath in together. And a slow breath out. Then we're going to take the right leg now up towards the sky. Again, don't worry about the height. Keep those hips squared, point those toes down. And now from here, I'd like for you to step lightly between your hands and just find a low lunge. Good, I'm going to face you, so I'll move, but your right foot is forward. I want you to stand your back foot flat, and I want you to open up wide. First warrior two of the evening. We're going to be in our warrior for just a brief moment to set up for the main pose. Heels and arches in line. Right knee above the right ankle, torso at center. Let's straighten the front leg. Open up those arms nice and wide. Palms face the side. Good. Now from here, with your arms wide like wings and the palms facing side, reach that right hand forward. Reach, 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 as if you're reaching for something towards the front of your mat. Release the right hand to the right shin. And let's take that left hand and lift it up towards the sky. So the focus here is shoulder to shoulder alignment. One line of energy, reaching those left fingertips to the sky. Your inner thighs are so active, they're keeping you stable here. Your feet are grounded, softening those toes. And then that right hand has very little to no weight, so you're using your strength in your core to keep you supported. You can stay here or bring that left hand to the lower back and find a half bind. Notice how this opens up that left shoulder. Stay with me for just 3. Try to release that grip in your right hand for 2. Good. Listen carefully. And 1, I'd like for you to look down at your big right toes. And I'd like for you to slowly, if you're in the bind, take your left hand back up to the sky. And then release your left hand and your right hand to the mat. Come into a low lunge. Good. So you're back in that low lunge. Find strength here as we use a bit of strength to bring us up to a gentle standing balance. So pulse a couple of times, bouncing into that right knee. When you're ready, look forward, inhale. And we're just going to very gently lift the left toes off the mat. Let them find a little bit of height for 3. Your fingertips are supporting you. Toes can point back or down for 2. And then step that left foot to meet the right foot, top of your mat, forward fold. Nice work. Shake it out. Nod the head yes. Nod the head no. You're gonna walk those toes together and keep the space in the heels. I want you to bend your knees a lot, sink your hips low, and very slowly come into your first chair pose of the evening. Sit low, squeeze those inner thighs together, pull those shoulders back. So you want to find space in your upper body. The weight is in your heels. You're in your chair pose, lifting those arms a little bit higher for 3. Strong and steady here for 2. Bring your hands together to your heart center. Listen carefully in 1. Push up to a standing position. Good. Nice work. So we worked that right leg already. Let's give it a break by shifting the weight into our left foot. So take your right toes off your mat. Bring yourselves into a one-legged mountain pose. You're only here for a moment. Cross that right ankle over that left knee. And now sit back into your imaginary chair. You don't have to go low. Go to that place where it feels good for you. Imagine the chair is behind you. Flex the right toe so you're activating that right foot. And you have arm variations here. If you want to sit a little bit lower, do so. You can take your arms and you can reach them forwards, turning those palms to face up. If you want a little more, you might want to sit low, bringing your elbows to your shins. And if you want to go even further, you're bringing your hands behind that left calf, pulling yourself further down into that chair. Find the variation that works for you. It's okay if you fall out, you come back to it. Press into that left foot, keep your core engaged. We're here for just 3. That right foot is active. Keep sitting into the chair for 2. Listen carefully wherever you are. Bring your hands back to your heart center. Press into that left foot to bring you back to one-legged mountain pose. Deep breath in. Exhale, release. Nice work. Shake it out. So good and so much focus. Shake it out. Gonna give ourselves a little bit of a stretch. So, second balance here. Shift the weight into your right foot. And take that left foot. We're going to find tree pose. We haven't done tree pose together. So you have some options for tree. You want to either place it on that right ankle, so opposite leg that you just worked. Right foot is down, left knee is bent. Or you can take your left foot above the knee. Try to avoid that knee joint. Or, if you'd like, you can just cross that left ankle over the right knee and let the left knee down. And then find again your focus. Whatever non-moving point you have in front of you. Find some stillness here. Challenge yourselves by bringing your arms either by your sides or maybe lifting your arms up towards the sky. Maybe even closing your eyes for the ultimate challenge. It's okay if you fall out. We're here for just 3. Keep breathing for 2. Bring your hands back towards your heart center in 1. Take your time, extend that left foot forward wherever it may be. Hold for 3. Keep your hands at your heart center. Feel yourselves growing a little taller for 2. And 1, release. Shake it out. Top of the mat. Revisiting our sun salutation. Arms up to the sky. Deep breath in, mountain pose. Exhale, fold forward all the way down as you hinge at the hips. Halfway lift on the inhale, shoulders back. Plant the palms on the exhale, step, float, or jump back to a plank pose. You decide how to get to plank. And then take that chaturanga, exhale, lower. Up dog on the breath in, shoulders back, chest forward. Down dog on the exhale. Take a big breath here, reset. And send the breath out. And so your final side, the same sequence we just took, but on the left side. Take your left leg to the sky. Again, you're not focused on the height, just finding squares, hips guides you, warrior two. Good, again, and you're only in warrior two for just a brief moment. It's your transition point before triangle. Once you have that alignment, your heel and the front foot in line with the back arch, take your time to slowly straighten that front leg. Arms should be out nice and wide. Palms face the side again, so thumbs point up. Now from here, reach that left hand forward. You reach until you can't reach any further first. Then you transition left hand down to that left shin. Right hand reaches up. So again, shoulder to shoulder alignment. Reaching up with the right fingertips. Creating length through your obliques. Lightness in the left hand. Your toes are nice and soft. And now take the bind, if you did so on the other side, by bringing that right hand behind the lower back, around that left hip. Notice how that right shoulder peels open. You should feel this in your left inner thigh, working, keeping yourself stable in this pose for just 3. Keep breathing here for 2. In 1, take your time. You start by just looking down at your big left toes. Good, and then from here, release the right hand if it's in the bind, back up to the sky. And then take both hands down to the mat as you come into a low lunge. Good. And again, you're taking a couple of little bounces here as you prepare for your little mini balance. Bounce a couple of times, and when you're ready, feel supported in that left foot as you lift your right toes off the mat. We're just finding a little bit of height. Point those toes behind you. We're here for 3. Find a little more height if you can for 2. Good, and 1, release that right foot to meet the left foot top of the mat. Good, second forward fold. Let your head and neck fully relax. Go ahead and walk those hands over to the right side. Give your side body a stretch as you look over the right shoulder, keeping those feet grounded. And now tiptoe those fingers over to the left side, giving your right side body a stretch. Look behind you. And slowly come back to center. Good. Start to walk your toes together. Leave a little space between the heels. Bend those knees. Sit those hips low. And we're going to come right into second and final chair pose. Sit lower. You've been here before. Release the shoulders away from the ears. Turn those palms to face either each other, or maybe you're lifting them up towards the sky. We're here in chair pose for 3. Sitting low for 2. In 1, we slowly bring those hands to our heart center, and we press into the feet as we rise up to a stand, preparing for that figure 4 pose on the other side. So the left leg has been working. Now it's going to be the right side. So shift the weight into your right foot. Take your left toes off your mat and come into that one-legged mountain pose. Your second layer is to cross that left ankle over the right knee and then go back into that imaginary chair. So again, you might notice this side is easier, it might be a little more challenging. Start little by little. Flex that left foot, that's really important, and maybe just stay here in this nice hip balance. Maybe you want to bring your arms forwards. Maybe you want to relax those elbows on that left leg, left shin. Maybe you want to reach your hands behind the right calf as you sit even lower, pulling those shoulders back. Remember, you're only in this pose for 4 breaths. Come back to it whenever you fall out for 3. Sit low, shoulders away from the ears for 2. Now together in 1, bring your hands back to your heart center. Power into that right foot to bring you up to a one-legged mountain pose. And then release. You feel that in your glutes. Shake it out. Nice work. Second and final tree pose, Vrishtasana. So you're going to shift the weight back into that right foot. And this time that right, the weight is back in the left foot, sorry. This time your right foot comes either to that ankle, to the shin, or up to the inner thigh. bad knees or not so strong knees, and maybe you want to come a little lower. Maybe you just want to cross that ankle over the knee. And again, bring your hands to your heart center. Find the tree pose that works for you this evening. Take your variation. Maybe grow the branches of your tree as you lift your arms towards the sky. Maybe even close the eyes. 3, 2. Bring your hands back to your heart center in 1. Release the right leg forward first. Find the final balance. Kick that right foot forward. Grow taller in your stance for 3. Engaging the core for 2. Release it all in 1. Nice work. Shake it out. And now we come to the top of the mat one last time for our final vinyasa. Arms to the sky. Breathe it all in. As you exhale, melt your hands back through your heart center. Fold forward. Halfway lift on the inhale. Pull the shoulders back. As you exhale, plant the palms, step or float back to your final plank pose of the evening. And this time, we hold plank for 5. Stay strong. We've done so much in our core this evening. Stay with me for 3. We lower very gently to our bellies in 2. In 1, lower all the way down into your belly. If you need to use the knees, you're welcome to do so. Excellent. And just relax the arms by your sides. Let your left ear melt to the mat. A mini Shavasana. Slowing down the heart rate and the breath from your movements. Preparing for our final restorative poses of our practice to seal everything up. I'm going to take 3 gentle spine strengtheners, starting with a gentle cobra. So when you're ready, just bring the gaze back to the center of your mat. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, and again, draw those elbows in. Finally, zip the legs behind you together so that the toes are touching. And now from here, let go of the breath from the body, so exhale everything out. On the inhale breath, you're coming up very gently, pushing into the tops of your feet, pressing down into the tops of your feet, finding a lightness in your hands, using your lower lumbar to lift. Pull those elbows behind you as you lift for 3. Maybe take those palms off the mat, coming up higher for 2. In 1, release the right ear to the mat this time. Arms by your sides. Second mini Shavasana. Slowing down the heart rate, slowing down the breath. And our second spine strengthener in just a moment. Bound locust pose. We'll start by just very gently bringing the gaze once again back to center. Now, your feet can be about hips width distance apart, so not necessarily zipped up. I'd like for you to just take your hands behind your lower back and maybe your fingers touch. Maybe you can clasp the index fingers, or maybe you can actually clasp your hands together. But we're not clasping fully just yet. We're just connecting, interlacing those fingers. Exhale all of the breath out. Now on the inhale, I want you to clasp your hands together. As you breathe in, pull those palms towards each other, bringing those hands back, lifting your chest. Start to lift 1 or both feet off the mat. Work those palms together as you lift your chest, shoulders back. Doesn't matter how high you go, reach those hands back for 3. Point those toes behind you as you lift for 2. In 1, release back down. Arms release. Left ear back down to the mat. Nice work. So go ahead and bend the knees. And then Windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Nice little way to let go of any tension in the back. Release and reset. Good, and then your final spine strengthener here on the belly is a bound pose. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring our legs so that they're again hips width distance apart. You're going to start by just bending the knees behind you together. Now this might not be available for all of us, so that's okay. You work with your arms by your sides. If you can, maybe grab a hold of the tops of your feet. Now if that's not available for you, then you're just grabbing perhaps the thighs and maybe just allowing your arms to rest by your sides. You can do the rest without gripping into anything. If your hands are together or touching the feet, take an exhale out wherever everyone is. On the next inhale breath, we're just lifting and we're slowly kicking our hands away from our feet. As we lift, we're lifting our thighs, pulling the chest up as we kick our hands away from our feet. We're here for just 3. If you can't grab the feet, it's okay. Keep reaching those hands back as you lift your thighs off the mat. For 2, lift a little bit higher. If you can, kick your hands away for 1. Exhale, release. Take your hands underneath your chin this time. And just go ahead and let your heels relax from side to side. Windshield wiper the legs once again. Re-neutralizing that spine. And then let your feet come back down. We're going to counter stretch those movements by bringing our hands underneath the shoulders, pushing up on the hands and the knees, coming into a variation of child's pose. Draw your knees together for this variation. Big toes behind you touch as you sit back with your knees together. Forehead down. Reach those arms either forwards or maybe reach your hands around your ankles or heels. And just give yourself a little stretch. Maybe even tuck the toes under for a little bit of variation. Just a nice stretch through your spine. And your forehead is very gently pressed on the mat here. And now from here, we're just very gently going to press into the mat with our hands. Swing the legs either side of you. Come onto the sit bones. And we're going to slowly make our way onto our backs. Starting by just hugging those knees into your chest. Another nice little counter stretch for the spine work we've just done. And then point the toes down as you create like a little tight ball with your body. Wrapping and squeezing every muscle here. And then very slowly, just unravel your spine as you release all the way down to your mat. One movement at a time. And once you've made your way down to your mat, hug those knees into the body for a moment as you grab a hold of the inner soles of the feet for your happy baby pose in Ananda Balasana. Gentle sways from side to side. Massaging the lower back, the spine. And then we're going to take a nice gentle supine twist to wrap up our practice. And just start by releasing the left leg down, extending it long in front of you. Keep that right knee bent for half happy baby, and just nudge that right knee out and down. So the final little stretch in the inner thigh. Your left hand, you can just place it gently over that left hip to ease that left hip down into your mat. And as you draw that right knee out, just gentle opening here. Take a 1 breath in. And on the exhale, go ahead and cross that right leg over the left leg. Make sure that your shoulders are grounded. Extend that right arm out like a wing and look over the right shoulder. Your right knee is crossed over the left leg. Your gaze is to the right. Opposite gaze to where the knee is. Nice gentle supine Making sure again that that right shoulder is down, not lifting. Take one more breath in the supine twist. And then come back to center once again. Hug those knees into your chest. Give yourself a gentle squeeze at the top to re-neutralize. And then grab a hold once again of the inner soles of the feet. Second side. Happy baby pose first. Nice gentle movements here from side to side. And this time you're just releasing the right leg long in front of you. And keeping that left knee bent as it is for half happy baby. This time your right hand gently comes over the right hip, just nudging that gently down towards the ground. And your right hip wants to lift, but try to nudge it downwards as you pull the left knee in the opposite direction. And when you're ready, use that right hand to guide your left knee over to the right side. Open up that left arm like a wing. Gaze over that left shoulder. Again, this time your left shoulder, you want to make sure that it's anchored downwards as you look over that left shoulder. Just a couple of breaths. And together we finally come back to center, giving ourselves one last hug of the practice. Wrap those arms around the shins. Bring the forehead to your knees. Give yourself a big squeeze, big love, gratitude for your practice, your movements. Deep breath in. And then on the exhale, sigh it out as you relax and surrender into your final pose of the evening, or Shavasana. I invite you to find comfort for just a minute here of stillness, letting your legs relax onto your mat in any way that feels comfortable for you. Just let your natural breathing resume. No more controlled breath. Just visualizing the rise and fall of your belly here for a minute. To stay in Shavasana for as long as you need, or if you'd like to come back to it after, that's fine. Otherwise, just start by deepening your breath. Bigger inhalations as your belly rises, and deeper exhalations as the belly falls. Begin to reawaken your toes, your fingers, your limbs. Maybe give yourselves one final full body stretch here as you reach your arms up above your head, extending the toes in the opposite direction, pointing them forward. And now just gently bring those knees in towards your chest as you roll over to that right or left side. And use that left or right hand to support you up back into your seated Sukhasana, easy pose, crossing at the ankles. And placing your hands on your shins, or rather your knees. Take a moment to roll those shoulders up and back. One final time. We seal our practice by bringing our palms together, taking a big breath in, and sending that breath out in gratitude. Thanking yourselves, as always, first for stepping onto your mat, for dedicating this time to yourselves. And we bow forward in gratitude. Namaste. Nice work, everybody. done.